Yo everybody, welcome to a new Watcher of Realms video from Infernum. In this one we're going to have a quick but informative rundown of the patch notes which were announced in the game client just this morning. The patch is going to be live on 24th of August UTC-8, and I'm not hovering Sue here for no reason. She's one of the biggest highlights of this patch. She's getting a pretty interesting buff, a fair amount of damage increase and a nice quality of life. Now, I am at 199 subscribers, so if you will, please be my 200 subscriber, and with that, let's get right into it. So, first things first, obviously we are getting 400 diamonds compensation for this update. It's going to take around 3 hours, as they say, usually it's faster. Now, let's get right into the heroes. So, here is a fair warning that if you use any of those heroes that are being changed in auto fights, you might need to change the auto fight, redo it, and so on. Now, the first point, and this is a fairly important one, it's an optimization of the rage consumption mechanic. So basically, if you don't know Potent Surge, that means the hero can get to up to 200% rage. So what does this do? For example, on someone like Valderon, who gets to 200% rage, if you use his ultimate when he is at 150% rage, now everything is gone. But after this update, he will retain that extra 50%, which was the difference between 100 and 150, and when he is out of the ultimate, he will be starting from that point, plus obviously the rage that he got in while his ultimate was running. Now, we have a Twin Fiend display issue fix, we don't really care about that. For Jezebel, this is very simple and very fast. Basically, they added this lasts for 10 seconds. So the Seed of Malice doesn't change in any way, it just specifies its duration now, and that's pretty much it. Now let's get to Jezebel, which is the most important one in this video. So optimized ultimate casting. So basically now, if there are enemies in the attack range, you can actually ult with her as soon as you place her. Now, I don't know if they will give her a special button. Currently, she doesn't have an ultimate button, but I assume if you place her and click on her, you can just click the button there. That's honestly all there is to it. Currently, she takes around 5 seconds or so before she starts doing damage. So this is honestly a pretty big buff because usually when you place her, you want her to wreak havoc, so to speak, and now she can do that instantly. We have a change to one of her passive, which is Return Spirit. Currently, this passive provides her debuff immunity and reduces her redeployment time based on the number of killed enemies. Now, on top of that, we have a new effect, reduces her AoE damage taken by 80%. This is a pretty nice buff also because in content where she takes AoE damage, you usually build her with some HP. Now you're not going to need to use that HP, and you can actually build her with more attack and more crit damage and whatnot. So basically, to my opinion, this is a fairly good buff. So let's get to the next one. Now, Bone Biting Cold. This is another one of her passive, if I'm not mistaken, or or maybe it's the ultimate, I don't remember. But basically, all you need to know about this, it changes the 200% true damage to 270% true damage when attacking targets with Radiant Erosion. That's honestly a pretty nice buff. It's a fair amount of an increase. Also, there are some changes to her artifact. Now she has, this is basically related to the previous point. Now her chance to inflict one stack of Radiant Erosion grows from 20% to 50%. So that's pretty nice. Basically, this buff will kinda guarantee Radiant Erosion more often, and when she deals damage to targets with Radiant Erosion, she does more damage now. So that's pretty great. Now, Boreas. They are adding him to the North faction. Honestly, this is not a big buff for Boreas because he doesn't have any kind of inbuilt shield mechanic, so he doesn't really get a shield. Obviously, the team of the hero fits it perfectly, but I would say, if anything, this is a buff for the North faction because they are getting a good hero such as Boreas. He's not used as much anymore, but still, occasionally you can see him in some content. Now, Volca, if you don't know, when she's on the field, heroes restore HP, so basically they are fixing an issue with that. For Dane, we have just a visual effect optimization, nothing in terms of damage. And for Lady Mina, same. We do have apparently she had an issue when she would get stunned, some weirdness with the visuals issues would appear. So yeah. Now let's get into the gear and gear adjustments. So we have three knee sets. Darkfire, Goldmane. Both of them are on the left side, so 2-piece sets. And we also have Greyfang, which is a 3-piece set. So for Drakefire, this is a pretty interesting one for Infernals, I would say, exclusively. Because currently we have Warlord, which increases the attack by 25%. So this is only an extra 5% increase. And obviously everyone runs Wicked Vengeance because it's just plainly better than Warlord. Now we will have to see if the extra 40% crit damage that Wicked Vengeance provides outweighs the 20% attack difference, and obviously the 10% damage increase if burning is successfully inflicted. Honestly, we will have to test and see. I would say this is only good for heroes that inflicts a lot of burning, because if you check here, we have obviously a 10% increase at max stacks, but it's not enough to, for example, inflict 1 stack per second. You actually need to inflict more than that to bring it up to 10%. So we will see how it works. If it works for heroes that are not inflicting burning, but someone else in the team is inflicting burning, we will have to see. Gretchen, for example, is a nice one that comes to mind since she's being used with Dracula. So in that scenario, maybe we could test if Dracula is running this set and Gretchen is inflicting burning, if the damage is any better. I don't think it will work like that, but in the past some things were lost in translation, so we will have to see. Now, Goldmane. This one, it's a fairly easy one, so this is going to be useful for our HP DPS. Basically, it's a plain 30% HP increase. This is not going to replace our tank sets for tanks specifically, but for HP DPS for sure. Adrian comes to mind again. I don't know, there are a couple others, but Adrian is the best one. So what this set does is adds an extra 4% true damage of the hero's max HP when dealing damage with a basic attack. So basically a pretty nice buff. We didn't have anything, so whenever you wanted to use Adrian as a DPS, you usually put him in Wicked Vengeance with crit rate, crit damage, attack speed and HP bonus rolls. So hopefully with this he will do more damage. Now we have the biggest one, the 3-piece set Greyfang. So for this one, basic attack damage plus 35%. Now this doesn't sound great from the start because here we are relying only on basic attacks. It does have a 50% penetration, but this is only when killing an enemy, so it's already quite conditional, and for boss content you're obviously not killing any enemies, so maybe for PvE it can work in some scenarios, but I don't think it's that good of a set. Definitely the 35% damage helps. However, 50% penetration, I think mostly marksmen would benefit from it because they have lower attack, but not all marksmen. You need marksmen which do damage similar to Sylas. For example, if you don't know, Sylas's ultimate is a basic attack, so he doesn't lose anything. But if the ultimate is not a basic attack, I don't think this set does anything except for the extra penetration, perhaps. Though, as I said, is very conditional, so I honestly don't think this set is going to be good, but we will have to test it and see. At the end of the day, I saved some gear forges, though it's specified here that it will only drop from gear raid and gear dungeon, so I think I'm saving them for nothing. Just in case, if it's not on forge, I will do a gear forge pulse party, so to speak. Now, Xena. For her amulet, currently uh, her initial redeployment time is reduced by 15 seconds when you use her amulet. Now after this, all her redeployments will be reduced by 15 seconds. So if you don't know, she has a redeployment time of 60 seconds. Basically with this, it will get to 45 seconds per redeployment. Currently only the first redeployment is 45 seconds, so this is a pretty nice buff for her. So I think it's quite rare to become useful, because at least in endgame content, when you run Xena, you just use her for a specific period when you want to put her on the field. So maybe in faction trials you could make use of this change, but other than that, I think this is just a pretty nice quality of life change. Now the Chaos Dominion ring is getting a fairly good buff, so when HP is below 50%, it's 12% damage. Now it's to 50% increase, and it's basically when HP is not at maximum, so 99% works. Honestly, I think this is a huge buff for Chaotix. We will I mean, we don't even have to test this. We already know this is going to be massive for Dracula, for Gretchen, for all the Chaotix out there. This is going to be a pretty nice buff. Now, we do have a new artifact for Tacticians, Sacred Banner. This increases healing effect, and when casting the ultimate, further increases it by 15. Honestly, we currently don't have any healer tactician, so I'm not sure who this could be useful for. We do have Rivenhald, and obviously his healing is not the best, so probably this could help, but currently his exclusive artifact is so good that it's quite unlikely you want to use something else. Because his exclusive artifact helps you dispel, and at the same time it increases his attack and provides better inspiration. So honestly, unless you want to use Rivenhald more as of a healer than a dispeller and an inspiration unit, I don't think this will be good. But yeah, that's the only option for now. Maybe they will release a new tactician healer, who knows, we will see. Honestly, having a healer that you can move around the map sounds pretty fun, so we will see. Now, stage and campaign gameplay adjustments. So for the first point, basically they say that they review our data from Gallery of War and they will make adjustments. If you don't remember, this is the one with the 4 bosses, which you would have to kill over and over again, and it would get progressively harder. So let's hope for some good changes on that. For the second point, we have a new campaign. This is not going to be an extension of the existing campaign. This is in fact going to be a different mode where they give you some heroes, some preset heroes, and you can challenge the stages using them. I think there will be rare, epics, things like that. So basically it's more of a puzzle rather than trying to push hard content, which takes a lot of awakenings and special heroes and gear to deal with. So I think this is quite fun. We will see. Now, this is an optimization for basic faction trial. I don't think this is relevant at all because people are doing quick clears on them. And now also optimization on artifact material rate. So basically what happens here, sometimes you would get the boss down to 40% so fast that he doesn't have time to put the shield. And then you get him to 40% and he puts the shield, but you cannot do damage to him because he's already in the invincibility state. So you cannot take the shield out, so the boss just turns invisible and runs through your team, so nothing you can do about that. So hopefully this optimization will take care of that. Now, we have other optimization and adjustments. We have auto explore in Void Rift. Honestly, this is long awaited. This is really good because each week having to just click with your mount through Void Rift is pretty annoying. Now, obviously, this is a mid to end game problem for the early players which still need to clear it. It quite be not that great because there will be not many guides on it anymore. But I still think that Void Rift is a pretty easy piece of content and you will get and outgrown in pretty fast. Now for quick clear, we have an increase of 220. I don't know what the current is. I think it's 10 or 15, the free daily ones. So that's great. And also sped up result animation. I don't know what exactly this is. Probably when each run finishes is going to speed it up. Maybe it doesn't show you every run in a sequence. It just goes and dumps a list of all the things that you got. I don't know. We'll have to see. Point 3, a Lord filter for the heroes feature. This is actually great. Sometimes you just want to look for the lords and see what lords you have from what factions and what not. So this is a really really nice change. Now added a bulk assemble button in for the shards in your storage. So basically here, instead of having to go to and do them one by one, I assume you would have a bulk assembly button that will basically consume your shards and turn them into full whatever shards, whatever ancients, hammers, whatever you have there, right? Now optimize the item display order in Demon Soldier shop. That's great, not interesting at all. The destination pages for the daily quest. So this is that little flying, I don't know, hamster, whatever it is. Great. Some changes to the monthly quest. So we don't get much information. It's just probably is going to be more rewards. So that's great. Added a toggle for shop characters dialogue. You can choose whether to display. So this is basically this. As you can see, currently there is some text on a very important area of the screen. So people got mad that they cannot see this particular area. So now you can turn off the text and enjoy. That's pretty much all there is for that. Now let's go to the last few points. So here we have some changes to the grand achievements. We don't really need to go through that. And that's it. If you enjoy this type of content, I try to make it as quick, as informative as possible. I didn't want to waste much of your time. So hopefully if you appreciate it, please like, comment and subscribe, and see you in the next one. Bye bye.